Hello and welcome. My name is Sophie Magnuson, and I am one of the project managers for the Growing a Safer Montana project. I want to thank you all for attending our virtual event. We would like it if you would all keep your videos on throughout this presentation so that we can see the faces of those attending. There is a chance that we could run into some connection issues throughout this presentation. If for some reason our connection does drop entirely, we will follow up with each of you in writing. Now, before we begin, there are a few people that I would like to recognize. First off, the professors and instructors who are attending this year's virtual event. From Montana Tech, we have Julie Hart and Lori Birkenbuell. From Flathead Valley Community College, we have Dan Liatzow. From Highlands College, we have Jim LaProuse. And from Ani Nakota, we have Robert Kitson. Thank you for your presence and for all that you do for your students. I'd like to take a moment to thank Montana State Fund's Board of Directors for consistently supporting this program over the years. Montana State Fund's CEO and President Lanny Hubbard will be speaking here shortly, but I wanted to take the opportunity to thank him for his support surrounding this program. And finally, I want to thank the Growing a Safer Montana project sponsors, Executive Vice President Julie Jenkinson, Vice President of Operations Will Anderson, and Chief Information Officer Al Parisian. Without their support and guidance, none of this would be possible. Now, according to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, about 409 workers under the age of 24 died from work-related injuries in 2019. 34 of those deaths occurred to employees under the age of 18. The injury rate for workers under the age of 25 is 2 times higher than for workers over the age of 25. Growing a Safer Montana aims to improve those statistics starting right here in our state with our future workforce. And this program has continued to evolve since its beginning in 2017. GSM started small in the Helena and surrounding areas, and we have expanded a bit each year, and we now cover the entire state of Montana. We've increased the number of personal protective equipment grants for high schools. We started with 11 in 2017. Today, we awarded 35 of those PPE grants. As of 2021, we now offer personal protective equipment grants for middle school classrooms along with those high schools. The number of scholarships has grown from 11 in 2017 to today's awardees, a total of 20 scholarships. The GSM program targets the next generation of Montana workers to champion safety in their schools and future workplaces. And we hope that each scholarship recipient today will continue to strive for the best practices and be a leading force in the betterment of workplace safety. And as our program continues to expand, we continue to look for new opportunities to educate and support the future workforce of Montana. Our president and CEO's commitment to safety as a leader of Montana State Fund has never wavered. Our mission statement ends with the verbiage, "We champion a culture of workplace safety for our fellow Montanans." Our policyholders and their employees are our friends, neighbors, and even families. So our employees believe this wholeheartedly. Without Lanny's support, this project would not have made near the impact it has and will continue to have. Please help me in welcoming our president and CEO and the guy who allows all of this to happen, Lanny Hubbard.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Happy New Year. And I also see, it looks like some supportive parents out there as well for some of our scholarship recipients. And we should never understate the critical role that our parents serve in encouraging us, encouraging our recipients today, and supporting the education, the continued education of our young people. And I want to personally acknowledge and thank the parents for their support. This is really exciting for me. This is one of the most fun parts of my job. I must say, however, Sophie, that if I were to ever do this again and you were running those slides, it shows how I've aged over the last 5 years of this program. And I'm not so sure I like that. because my hair's a little bit thinner and my beard's a little grayer. So just a fair warning that you're going to get older, folks. It happens, whether you like it or not. But this is really an exciting day for me because all of you recipients, the 20 recipients that we're going to award scholarships to today, are going to be in the future the most critical part of our leadership of improving the workplace safety culture in Montana. We have, as Sophie indicated, some of the highest accident rates in the nation in Montana, and that's not just because we have high-risk injury. It's also occurs in all classes of business that we have in Montana, including offices and clerical and lower risk positions. So we know that we've got to do more as a state and as a community to improve the awareness of the importance of workplace safety and at a younger age. The sooner we can expose young workers, even students who have not come into the workforce yet, to the importance of safety culture and caring about your neighbor and recognizing that when we go out into, whether it's out in the yard to mow the lawn or into a new job, that there are things out there that want to hurt us. And it's equipment that isn't properly protected or wires that aren't properly grounded. And you students are going to be the voice of safety as you go out into the workforce and you pursue safety education even further and advance your degree and your progress. It's a key to creating a vibrant workforce and a healthy and safe Montana, which is why we're doing this. This is our goal. This is the 5th year that we've invested in the scholarship program. We're proud to do it. I believe that the amount of support that we provide these scholarship recipients is meaningful and significant and assists them in the oftentimes very heavy financial burden that they bear getting through colleges and parents bear. Back a shout out to the parents for hanging in there with their kids and helping them pay for college. So this to me is a very key piece of really a two-pronged approach to growing a safer Montana. We call it growing a safer Montana because we know it's a longer term investment. It's an investment not only in developing future leaders like you, but also teaching young people in high school trade classes that putting on that ear protection, putting on that eye protection, wearing the proper safety equipment is going to protect them and keep them in the workforce for a full lifetime, for a career. And far too many young people get hurt on the job. Between the ages of 16 and 24, about 16% of all accidents in Montana are to that age group. And that's unacceptable. And we need to continue to apply pressure and educate and, in fact, provide the culture of safety that's necessary for us to be successful in our long-term goals. So we are going to expect that all of you will go out there and use your talent, your skills, your energy, and your degrees in industrial hygiene and safety to make a better and safer Montana. So we award $4,000 per scholarship recipient, as I said, and we award it to 20 students. I think this year is the most that we've awarded in one sitting, but it's certainly important. And I'm glad to see that we've got more need than we actually have dollars available, because that means that people are interested in this field, and that's really an important thing as well. So where are we really looking at? We're looking at some of the higher risk industries in Montana that we have, but some of the most dangerous jobs are in manufacturing, agriculture. I think you probably intuitively know that, construction and transportation. So we're focusing our support of education of safety professionals within particularly these industries. And I've got to say, you know, Montana still ranks 4th in the nation for accident rates. So there's a lot of work to do. And you're going to be the ones that help us accomplish our goal. So Montana State Fund is very, very committed to this program over the long term. As I said, it's growing a safer Montana, and that implies not just one-off investments, but actually long-term investments, and you're part of that. And I think some of you have been recipients for several years now, and we're thankful and proud to support you as you continue on your educational efforts. These careers are really important. I wish you well. Clearly, you're doing a good thing, and it's a noble purpose. The kinds of careers that you're going into is very noble. And I want you to help us change the culture in Montana. We're a tough, independent-minded state. We're a get her done kind of state, and we can do better for one another. And our people are just way too precious to not do all we can to ensure that we are, in fact, growing a safer Montana. So I'm proud and honored to be able to present and support this scholarship award today. And I thank you for your time and attention, and congratulations to all the recipients. I'm very much proud of you. Even though I'm not your father, I feel proud, and I encourage you to keep going and strive higher. So Sophie, thank you very much for this opportunity to open.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Slaney. So at this point, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for the afternoon. Seth Becker was born and raised in Conrad, Montana. He went off to college at Montana Tech, where he pursued the career path of an engineer. After graduation, he moved back to Conrad, where he found his new profession, ranching. Seth met the love of his life, Jenny, and they were married in 2014, and now they share 3 beautiful children along with their cattle, horses, chickens, dogs, cats, and pigs. You are a busy man. During the beginning of the pandemic, he and his wife started a direct-to-consumer meat business called the Stick Leg Ranch. So if you would all join me in welcoming Mr. Seth Becker.
Oh, all right. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you, Sophie. Lori, it's really good to see you after all these years. You haven't aged a bit. And well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's really good to be here. I'm excited. I was recruited to do this by Wendy and Sophie, and they've been kind of working with me because I don't know what I'm quite doing, but I am really going to enjoy this. And I'm going to be reading it off of these sheets of paper here. Bear with me. So let's see. I've got a pretty crazy story to tell you today, and it's my story, and I'm still living it. Zoom's a new thing for me. I know it's been around for quite some time, and it was a lifesaver during COVID, but it's new to me right now. It's nice to be able to see all these faces, young faces, older faces, yours and mine. However, there's a lot you can't see, and sometimes what you can't see is every bit as important as what you can see. And that's why I'm here, because you see, in a normal speech, you might have seen me walk out on these. I got one for each side. It's fake legs. And you would also maybe see that I have some memory problems. So I'm going to be reading my speech from these sheets of paper right here today. So here we go. I was born and raised in a trailer park on the east side of Conrad, Montana. You can see it from the interstate if you're ever up that way. And I had a really good childhood. And eventually I ended up working on a local farm ranch all through high school. Now I worked all the seasons, and there's always a season. Freezing to death season, wet, cold, muddy season, hot, dry, sunburnt, mosquito season, and lastly, dry, froze to windy death, knee-deep snow season. We dug, we worked in trenches, we got chased by cows, we fixed fence, irrigated, ran large equipment, constructed buildings, harvested, and a million other things, and I loved almost every minute of it. I remember my boss would always say when things got difficult or miserable, and he'd say, this is why you go to college, Seth. So eventually I did just that, and I landed in Butte at Montana Tech for petroleum engineering. I loved Butte and Butte loved me, and it was a match made in heaven. I wasn't exactly ever student of the year any of those years, but I did manage to make it to class consistently and keep my grades up, which helped me land some really cool internships. The first summer that I worked on an internship, I was in northern Louisiana learning about the oil field and trying to learn a foreign language too. Needless to say, I still can't understand those boys from Bossier City, Louisiana, but I sure love that work and I love the people too. That second summer, I worked in Victoria, Texas, where I learned a lot about Mexican food and line dancing and even a little bit about the oil field. I also learned that Texans need their oil fields just to drive across that giant state. The third summer, I worked in Lafayette, Louisiana, way down in Cameron Parish. And instead of counties, they've got parishes there. That's a little strange. And this is kind of where the job got a lot more serious. This place, this weird, strange place, Lafayette, Louisiana, the food, the language, and even the music was different. And everything changed, including my life. The job was a lot more serious, and starting from the first day at work, I was required to take different safety courses, watch safety videos, and get certifications and stuff like that. And I recall one of the more enjoyable courses called Offshore Survival. One of the exercises had us being strapped into an old helicopter and being hoisted up into the air above a giant indoor pool. And they then dropped the helicopter into the pool upside down, and you've got to figure out how to unbuckle and swim out of this thing and somehow get a life suit on and climb into a life raft, all in the dark. And although this was kind of a fun, exciting experience, none of it could have prepared me for what was coming my way. I don't quite remember the exact days, but I was called out in the night to drive across the southern half of Louisiana and board a ship. We were going offshore to perform a frac job on an oil rig about 60 or so miles south of Lafayette, Louisiana in the Gulf of Mexico. The frac job's where you pump a sandy liquid mixture into an oil gas well at a really high pressure, and you fracture the rock so that way oil can flow out easily and go to the surface. We got to the boat late at night and we boarded, and I was promptly shown a bed that I could sleep in. I woke up in the morning, introduced myself to everyone, had breakfast in the galley, and went up to meet the captains. There were two captains. They were on their shift change, and there was one for day, one for night. And I also met the ship's mechanic. We all introduced, and I listened to him talk for a while, and the mechanic gave me a tour of the engine room. It was incredibly hot and painfully loud in there, but I do remember that he mentioned having trouble with ballast thrusters. And he explained that ballast thrusters were used to help control side-to-side motion of the boat and help keep it stable and prevent unwanted movement. I also remember the captains talking about a very strong ocean current that day, and it was giving them some troubles. It was all a really amazing experience, especially for a young engineer in the making. And it was magnified by having dolphins swimming along the boat, and just meeting new people, and I just loved it. The next day, we woke up with the boat tied off to an oil rig called the Cliffs 153. We did some safety training about man baskets, and basically a man basket is how you get on the oil rig. It's a 5 or 6 foot diameter donut with netting around it, and you throw all your junk in the middle of the donut inside a large rope net, and you stand on the outside of this thing and you hold on to the side of it, and they hoist you up on a crane. And it seems like you're going about a mile into the air. While you're up there swinging in the air, the thoughts of death are far outweighed by the excitement of what's going on and the beautiful view of the sun coming up on the horizon. And you're looking down, you're seeing this boat down there going up and down. It's pretty neat. And just like that, you're on the oil rig floor and you're going to work. Our next task was to hoist up a large high pressure hose and steel piping that's used to get the frac fluid to the wellbore. All the frac fluids on the boat, the large pumps are on the boat, and we had to use the crane to hoist up all the tools and help raise up all the hose and pipes, and we used the hoist to aid in chaining that giant hose to the rig floor. We then had to use sledgehammers to tighten all the high pressure pipe unions together. We had just finished making all the connections when the boat radioed one of the guys. We were instructed to take apart one of the connections. is extremely loud up there. It is an oil rig, and there's a lot going on. There's pumps, there's engines, there's generators, there's a lot of loud noise and stuff swinging and moving around, things like that. I couldn't quite make out what they were saying other than break the line. One of the guys was having a hard time with his sledgehammer, so I went to the other side of him to start swinging my hammer and help break that line. And I saw the connection was coming loose and just about had it apart when that line went tight and pinned me between it and a wall. Both of my legs instantly broke, and I fell forward with my legs pinned under the heavy line. And I remember thinking, I have broke legs. I've got all summer to heal from that. I can handle this. I had that split second. I thought about that. Literally, those were my thoughts. And in an instant, the line took off. Rolled me across the rig floor with my legs being ground to bits under it. The line was around a 9-inch diameter flexible hose wrapped in stainless steel, and it weighed around 90 pounds per foot of length. It was very heavy duty, high pressure stuff. And I was violently rolled across the deck of this oil rig until the line went over the side of the oil rig and dropped into the sea. My body was left near the edge of the oil rig, laying on my back facing north. There was panic everywhere. Everyone was screaming, and nobody had a clue what the heck had happened. I was in the most pain I'd ever experienced in my life. And a few people started to come to my aid, and I was laying in a growing pool of my own blood. I was very cold, and the blood was warm, and I remember feeling it oozing underneath the back of my head, into my hair. I was scared, and the guys around me wouldn't let me sit up to see what was left of my legs. Sorry. Let's see. Everyone was terrified, and I don't think any of them had ever seen a man dying before like this. I told them to do tourniquets and had them get me something for the pain. They also brought me a pencil to bite on. They eventually found out the cook, who was named Goose, was a Vietnam medic, and he came to help me out. Seemed like everything took forever, and the blood puddle kept growing. And I must have asked him 1,000 times when that helicopter was coming. Any minute now was always the answer. I grew so cold and weak, and I was very aware that I was dying. I vividly remember leaving my body once and floating above and looking back down upon myself. I could see all the guys around me, and I could see me. And I had a choice. I remember this. I had a choice to live or die. And I thought of how it would kill my parents and grandparents if I died, so I chose to live. The next thing I knew, I was waking up, and I'm looking at all the men around me, and I could finally hear that helicopter coming. I had hope. Once that chopper landed, I asked the medic for morphine, and he promptly gave it to me. I told the medic it was my first helicopter ride. I strapped tightly onto a stretcher, stuffed into a tiny compartment with no view, and the medic was kneeling over me, desperately trying to find a vein to give me an IV. It was 4.5 hours after the accident, and I landed at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Lafayette, Louisiana. I was wheeled in on the stretcher, and they immediately put me on the phone with my parents in Montana. I told them not to worry and that I'd be all right. A few minutes later, they had a Catholic priest read me my last rites. I knew I was in trouble then. The rest was all a blur of surgeries, skin grafts, morphine, visitors, and a couple more near-death experiences, and some awkward moments with beautiful nurses and bedpans, and the realization that my life was changed forever. Later that summer, I was flown to Benefice in Great Falls, where I could be closer to my family and friends. In the ICU unit, I got to know a kid my age that had gotten paralyzed in a car wreck that summer. We were both very drugged up, very injured, but we made the best of our poor situation. After I'd started rehab, I recall overhearing a conversation my parents were having with a doctor. And the doctor mentioned I would probably spend the rest of my life in a nursing home. I'd lost too much blood and had too much brain and physical damage to ever recover enough to make it on my own. And that's when the air got sucked right out of me, and I might have even finally cried. It crushed me. There was a pretty dark time in there where everyone realized that my life was not going to be anything like it once was. To help get through that, I had to accept help from friends, help from God, and change my perspective and attitude and focus on what I still had, what I could do, and who was still with me. My parents were an incredible force and were outstanding. My friends also helped in my recovery, and I did recover. And I eventually went back to college as soon as possible and lived in the dorms where I'd be surrounded with young, energetic, enthusiastic people that would help me every step of the way to finding what I would be my normal new life. I worked on getting a second degree, mostly so I could be there longer with friends and faculty I loved. I eventually graduated with degrees in petroleum and engineering science. And although I did finish college, I certainly wasn't finished with my recovery or my education. I couldn't have accomplished anything without plenty of help from my tech friends and family. After college was finished, I moved back home with my parents for a few years, but my father got me into horses. One hot summer, I had a bad infection in my leg, and it pretty much ruined my summer, but I couldn't hardly do anything, so I purchased some books and learned how to build saddles. I built my first saddle in my parents' garage from a wheelchair, and I had plenty of company from curious passerby. Saddle work eventually turned into silver work, and I started making quite a bit of engraved silver jewelry. I had a knack for it, and I enjoyed it immensely. This went on for a few years until I found out that a friend was selling his farm. I bought it with the intention of leasing it out, which only lasted 1 year when the people leasing it didn't pay the full amount, and that's when I bought cows. So I traded one dangerous oil field job for an even more dangerous agriculture one. The cow thing went really well, and I expanded the herd and made improvements to accommodate this. Life was pretty good for a few years until some friends lined me out with some strange girl they met from Utah. My life got even better when I married her, or more accurately, she married me. We've currently got a ranch to plate business, and we ship delicious grass raised beef all over America under the name Stickleg Ranch. I get to work alongside my best friend and the love of my life, and we raise our children in one of the coolest ways possible on our ranch. And we also have one more on the way. Well, that's my story, but it's not quite the message I want to leave you with. I'm happy and I'm blessed beyond belief, but I want to talk again about the things you don't see. My life is hard. It's physically demanding and hard on my body. Simple tasks are made difficult, and they must be thought out ahead of time. My wife has more to do than should ever be expected out of a normal wife and parent. She doesn't mind, but it is very demanding at times. My children don't get to hunt or hike or ski with their dad, and father and son football games will be limited to catch. And I don't tell you all these things for sympathy. I don't want that. I've got a really blessed life, and I'm very grateful. But I want you all to be aware of the things you don't see. All of you, both young and old, and in various stages of life, have the power to change both your lives and the lives of others. One day, June 5th, 1999, I overheard talks of problems on a boat. Something about ballast thrusters not functioning properly. There was talk of not being able to do the job because of it. A lot of problems could have been nipped in the bud if the right person would have said, hey, let's just sit this one out until we get this resolved. As a result of doing that job, there were several human injuries, millions of dollars in damages to equipment, and lost time. We all have the power to say no, to stop, make things right and safe. And I believe it's your obligation to not only self-advocate, but to advocate for others as well. Because as you see, your coworkers or friends might not see or be aware of the dangers lurking. Watch out for that new guy or girl on the job. You just might be the person that saves their life, or at least prevented an injury that could have altered their lives and their families' lives. My accident was very preventable. Any one of us could have said no and stopped, made sure that boat was running good, and I could have stopped it. The captains could have stopped it. The rig workers could have stopped it. It's in your hands. You have that power. Don't let anyone ever scare you or tell you that you don't have that. Hold the ladder, help the elderly across the street. Warn the stranger on the trail about that grizzly bear you saw. Take that extra step to make sure things are safe. And show people the dangers they can't see. And I'm just going to give you a couple examples right now. Yesterday I was in Havre, and I was at some meetings up there, agriculture stuff. And anyway, there's metal stairs that go up and down, and there's, I don't know, at least over 100 people at these meetings. And the stairwell had become loose from the brick wall. And anyway, someone had actually had the foresight to put a couple signs up that said, hey, The stair rail's loose, be careful. By the end of that meeting, that handrail had broke off from the wall and fell down. Had those signs not been put there an hour before, someone probably could have been hurt. Another example was the other day, I was going to paint the inside of a small grain bin. I crawled inside there to do the job, and my dad stopped me and insisted I put on a respirator. And that respirator was only sitting 20 feet away in the same shop. And I put it on, of course, and I'm really glad my dad was watching out for me, and it most likely would have made me ill and could have possibly even done damage to my lungs. I later read that label, and it was pretty dangerous stuff. My point is that it's okay to stop and tell a coworker or an employer that things could be better or safer. You never know how that effect might turn out because you avoided a wreck. You never hear about the accidents that never happened. You never know how one small action could impact someone or their family or even people that aren't born yet, much like my children. I'm going to wrap this up now. I'd just like to say thanks for letting me share my story. Congratulations to the scholarship winners, and that world is yours. Be safe, work hard, use your heads, and you're going to do fine. Take care and have a good day. Thank you.
Seth, I got to clap and let you hear me clap. That's as touching a story as I've ever heard. And I've been doing this for 33 years for this company, and nobody is a better spokesperson for the message that you shared with these young people than you. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And Seth, I have to say, I've heard your story a couple times now, and every time I hear it, it is just as impactful as the first time that I heard it. So thank you so much for sharing that with us here today.
Thank you for letting me do it. Kelly, it's good to see you.
So guys, it's really our hope that you make that commitment to yourself, to do the best you can to foster a safe and healthy workplace. It's for yourself, it's for your family, it is for your friends. Do that so that at the end of the day, you can all go home whole. And just like Seth said, speak up for safety, ask those difficult questions or ask for more information. Those questions that pause could mean the difference in someone's life or in your own life. So please champion safety today, tomorrow, and every day as you guys go out and join the workforce. So at this time, I would like to introduce Wendy Forgy, a Growing a Safer Montana project manager, to announce the scholarship awards. Wendy?
Thank you, Sophie. There we go. All right. So I have to move all my things around, sorry. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to announce our scholarship awardees. We have 20 recipients representing 8 different colleges across the state. Starting with Montana Tech, we have Kara O'Donnell. Kara's working on completing her bachelor's in occupational safety and health and her master's in industrial hygiene. Kara grew up in Montana and enjoys trying new recipes, spending time with friends and family, and reading. Kara is also a 3-year recipient of this scholarship. Congratulations, Kara. Lane Willis. Lane grew up in Laurel, Montana, and graduated from MSU with a civil engineering degree. He is now pursuing his master's degree in industrial hygiene at Montana Tech. In his spare time, Lane enjoys spending time outdoors, fishing in the summer, and skiing in the winter. Lane is a 2-time scholarship recipient. Congratulations, Lane. McKenna Kalber. McKenna was born and raised in Pasco, Washington, where she enjoys playing sports and spending time hunting and fishing. She is halfway through her junior year, pursuing her bachelor's in occupational safety and health and her master's in industrial hygiene. When McKenna is not in the gym or the classroom, you can find her spending time with her family, friends, and 2 dogs. Congratulations, McKenna. Sadiq Anua. Sadiq is from Nigeria and came to the US in 2011 looking for education and future opportunities. He graduated with high honors from Montana Tech in 2019 with a business and IT management of natural resources degree, where he was awarded the most outstanding student for his graduating class. He is now working on a degree in occupational safety and health and he chose that path because he remembers how unsafe work practices were in Nigeria, and he wants to make a difference in the world. Sadiq is a 2-year recipient of this award. Congratulations, Sadiq. Bree Birkenbuell. Bree grew up in Montana, where she enjoys hiking, kayaking, camping, playing the ukulele, singing, and hanging out with friends and family. She loves to volunteer and help people, which has led her to the career of safety. She's excited for the vast opportunities the field represents and will be starting her first internship with ConocoPhillips soon. Congratulations, Bree. From Flathead Valley Community College, we have Tyler Hansen. After high school, Tyler began working in an automotive machine shop where he recognized his desire to learn more about the field. He's currently working on his industrial machine technology degree. In his free time, Tyler enjoys snowboarding, working on his Jeep, and spending time working in the machine shop. He currently lives in Columbia Falls with his wife and cat. Congratulations, Tyler. Elizabeth Mathiasen. Elizabeth attended Savannah College of Art and Design in Atlanta, Georgia. After moving back to Montana, she realized her job opportunities were limited. After an experience working with a CNC machine and exposure to 3D printing, she fell in love and enrolled in the Industrial Machining Technology program at Flathead Valley Community College. In her free time, Elizabeth enjoys rock climbing, martial arts, bodybuilding, 3D resin painting, and digital art. Congratulations, Elizabeth. From the University of Montana, Missoula College, we have Adriana Morgan. Adriana lives in Missoula, where she is pursuing her 2-year degree in sustainable construction. In her spare time, she enjoys playing the guitar, lifting weights in the gym, and working on wood projects. In her future, she hopes to obtain her independent contracting license, build more affordable and sustainable living spaces for people in Missoula, and build small vacation rentals where she hopes to start a program for underprivileged children to vacation and experience all that Montana has to offer. Congratulations, Adriana. Kevin Conard. Kevin was born in Minnesota, obtained his welding degree from a university in Colorado. After completing his first degree, he moved to Montana in pursuit of his sustainable technology degree from Missoula College. In his free time, he enjoys hiking, playing disc golf, and riding his bike and hanging with his dog and practicing Tai Chi. Congratulations, Kevin. Garrett Fox. Garrett is currently studying sustainable construction technology. He looks forward to promoting safety in the classroom and in his future career opportunities. Out of class and off the job site, he enjoys biking through town, cooking mean meals, and taking long hikes. Congratulations, Garrett. Excuse me. From City College, Montana State University, Billings. We have Daniel Geiger. Daniel grew up in a small town in western Montana. He moved to North Dakota for work, but always knew he would end up back in the state. He loves the outdoors and camping and is the father to 3 wonderful children. Congratulations, Daniel. From Great Falls College at Montana State University, we have Chase Tay. Chase is from Great Falls, where he enjoys hands-on activities like playing guitar and welding. He lives with his girlfriend, 2 calico cats, and a snake. Chase is looking forward to his career in the welding field. Congratulations, Chase. Brian Tucker. Brian was born in Browning, Montana. When he was 18, he joined the United States Army and served 1 year in Iraq. In 2005, he exited the Army and moved to Missoula. Brian is celebrating 4 years sober this month after a difficult journey with drugs. He is grateful for his family and friends and Veterans Treatment Court for supporting him in his journey. He will be graduating with his welding technology degree in May. Congratulations, Brian, and thank you for your service. From Highlands College, Montana Tech, we have Casey Hager. Casey was born and raised in Orange County, California. After graduating high school and learning to manage life with mental illness, he moved to Montana to work with his father, transporting mobile and manufactured homes. Casey is 2 semesters into his welding degree and looks forward to helping keep the workplace safe. Congratulations, Casey. Sean Douglas. Sean is currently majoring in metal fabrication at Highlands College. He enjoys the outdoors, off-roading, playing guitar, and performing tasks that include fabrication. Congratulations, Sean. From Aani Nakota College, we have Derek Bell. Derek's Nakota name is Mato o Hiyeza, which roughly translates to winning bear. He is currently enrolled in Aani Nakota College in Fort Belknap. He is studying industrial trades and also working towards his Bachelor's of Ecology. In his free time, he enjoys running, hunting, fishing, and anything that gets him outdoors and moving. After getting his associates, he hopes to apply his skills to gardening and teach others how to cultivate and grow their own food. Congratulations, Derek Bell. From Helena College, we have Jamar West. Jamar was born in Ohio, has a deep passion for aviation. He moved to Montana with his wife and 3, soon to be 4, beautiful children. In pursuit of his degree in aviation maintenance, Jamar is constantly aspiring to better himself and his chosen industry. He is excited to enter the aviation field and share his passion and drive with others. Congratulations, Jamar. Cody Wentz. Cody attended Flathead Valley Community College after serving in the Marine Corps, where he acquired an Associate of Science degree. He then went into the active duty Army and was recently honorably discharged. He is now enrolled with Helena College to obtain his degree in industrial welding. In his free time, Cody enjoys spending time with the people in his life, fabricating projects in his garage, and winter sports. Congratulations, Cody. Yoel Moffett, industrial welding. Yoel, a born Montanan, has always had a knack for working with his hands. In his free time, he enjoys reading, playing video games, and crafting. He plans to complete the welding program and go on to pursue a 2-year machine tool technology degree. Yoel recently competed in his school's facial hair contest, where he won first place in the natural beard category. Congratulations, Yoel. And Christian Pavelka. Christian has always been fascinated by airplanes and aspires to become a medical transplant pilot here in Montana. His fascination has led him to the aviation maintenance field at Helena College. Some of his favorite hobbies include snowboarding, mountain biking, and backpacking with his wife and their dog, Charlie. Congratulations, Christian. Thank you all. And I'd like to thank you to this class of scholarship recipients and to the instructors, mentors, and families who are helping them attain these goals. We are very excited to be sharing in your future success and look forward to seeing you all achieve great things in your future. Congratulations.
We have such a great group of recipients this year, and I always love to hear all of the stories about each of you and what you do outside of school, outside of work, what your hobbies are. It's all great to hear. So with that, we are going to wrap up our 2022 Virtual Scholarship Awards event. And we want to thank you all for attending and again, congratulate our 20 recipients here today. We wish you all the best of luck as you go forth into the world and your future careers. And I have no doubt that you will do great things and that you will do them safely. For our recipients who are interested, the GSM project team will remain on this Zoom so that you all have an opportunity to chat with us, ask us questions, or simply say hi virtually. And then for everybody else in attendance, we want to thank you again and hope that you have a great evening.